Hello and welcome back to Tombgallows. Last time we did a bunch of stuff. I actually don't remember, because last time, for me, was like 5 days ago. For the people listening to this, it's not going to be. It's going to be like 12 hours. But last time I did a whole bunch of videos in succession, and then I stopped because I wanted to do some research. You might remember last time, or maybe it was the time before it, we were struggling a whole lot with mostly trying to get our archers to do things. But it wasn't just that, as it turns out. I didn't figure out how to fix that problem. I have no idea what's wrong, and I haven't figured out how to make it work. So that's off the table. But I learned a bunch of other things, including why my gem cutters keep grabbing freaking like clothing and stuff that I don't want them grabbing. And the reason is because for some reason, they will grab whatever's closest, and they are going into here, into the finished goods stockpile, and the finished goods stockpile is made up of like 8 billion different things, including clothing for some reason. Why there isn't a specific, like I would think it would go under armor, but no, it's under clothing. And so what they're doing is they're going into here, and they're grabbing, they're basically just grabbing clothing. That's their plan. Their plan is essentially to just go into the stockpile and grab all the cloth for no reason. So we need to fix that. And it's actually a really easy fix, thankfully. And I think I'm going to do it by moving my stockpiles around. So I'm going to move my weapon stockpile. No, you know what? We're going to cycle this around so that we're going to move this furniture stockpile here, I think, is what we're going to do. So remove that. Actually, we can actually probably consolidate this stockpile. Like we can consolidate like these two stockpiles, probably. But now that we've done that, we need to go into the settings and we need to change what this will accept. So right now it's accepting everything. So no more chains, no more flasks, no more musical instruments or toys or armor, footwear, headwear, handwear, figurines can stay. No more legwear, backpacks, quivers, splints, crutches, tools, or codices. Let's see. Do not accept plant cloth, silk, leather, or yarn. Everything else can stay. I think it's okay to accept gems, because the only gems it's going to accept are the large gems. So this can stay. So now that we've done that, we need to go into here and set another finished goods stockpile further away. And now we're going to set everything to be the opposite. So this one is not going to accept stone or clay or metal or gems. It's also not going to accept goblets or figurines, amulets, scepters, crowns, rings, earrings, bracelets, large gems, totems, or anything else. So they shouldn't be encrusting frickin' codices and stuff in gems now. So this is going to accept all those things instead. Let's see, no bone, no tooth, no horn, no pore, no shells. Amber, coral, no glass. No wax. Not that we have any wax or anything else, but that should fix the problem. Probably. It fixed the problem in my test game that I was doing. So that's set to do that. What this should have the result of is that the dwarves should immediately start moving things around. So, is that an anvil? It is. No, I don't want to search, I want to melt it. So melt that anvil. Is that another anvil? Why do I have so many anvils? I have so many anvils. I thought I melted all of them. Apparently I did not. Melt all the metal objects. didn't realize I had other stuff to melt. Here, go melt all that other stuff. So they should move all of that out, and that should fix the problem. What else did I set it to do? What else did I do? Oh, I remember now. I also changed auto labor a bunch. That was another thing I did, is I started messing with auto labor. And the reason I started messing with auto labor is because I wanted to change how the dwarves handled problems. What does that mean? Well, in auto labor, it tries to complete all the jobs as quickly as possible. So what it does is it sets, like, it basically can set how many, basically tells it to set how many, like how many people can do a certain job. So for auto labor, it normally sets it to like minimum of 1, maximum of like 200. Pool is like 200 dwarves, and so it just takes the like top 200 dwarves for every job and says which one of you is open to do a job. And so what I did is I set most jobs, especially crafting jobs, so that they only what is it? So that they only do certain things. So that only like the top I don't know, like 6, I think is what I set it to. Only like the top 6 or so actually do the job. So like the pool's very small now, and the reason for that is so that it won't grab a bunch of useless people to do jobs. So it should only take from the top 6 at any one job. Now that should be fine because I only have like at most 6 of any one thing, so I won't need a huge amount of different people to do bone crafting if only one guy is really needed to do bone crafting, if that makes sense. Alright, so let's construct the gold door. We need to construct a whole bunch of other gold things, now that I think about it. So what is our stock set at for gold? We have a lot of gold. Alright. So we definitely need more stuff. I suppose I could just put more bags out, but we don't really need to do that. I do need to tell it to make more doors, though. Well, they're already making doors, so... here, make like 20 more gold chests and gold cabinets. And this should only be done by, like, the top dudes, so that it shouldn't be, like, we shouldn't have a bunch of people who've never done metal crafting doing metal crafting. That's the hope. That's our hope. That's my hope. Is that I've finally said, why do we have a bunch of bunnies? We don't need these. Why do we have them? I don't know where they came from. I don't understand. I really do just need to kill all the pets, I think. I just need to do that and just get rid of them all. So we might actually have to finish, like... Well, that's why it's taking them so long, because they're also doing that. I think what I'm going to do is we need to fix the pathing. So we need to stick all of the pets in here, and I'm just going to get rid of them. Which is sort of harsh and horrible, and it's probably going to give a whole bunch of bad thoughts, but it is going to get rid of a whole bunch of useless animals that we don't need. Because they're just taking up space and slowing down our fort, and I wish there was a way to turn off people bringing pet animals. But as far as I know, there isn't, so... we're just gonna have to do this the old-fashioned way, I suppose. Now, I don't recommend doing this the old-fashioned way. The old-fashioned way is kind of cruel and horrible, and probably shouldn't be doing it. Oh my god, there's so many random animals. I don't think they're... yeah, they're... alright, there's so many. There's so many. Every time I think I hit the end, I have not. Okay, so that should make it so they move all of the pet animals over here, and we're just going to use the exterminate tool in Dwarf hack, or DF hack, Dwarf Fortress hack, to get rid of them, because clearly we don't need them. Like, unfortunately I don't like doing this, because it gives a whole bunch of negative thoughts. This is really the only way to do it, to where we're not killing, like, all of them, because I don't want to exterminate all of the animal, or all of the jaguars and things. I just want to get rid of the I just want to get rid of some of the more useless ones, because I can't train these, so they're not useful to me. If I can't train it, I can't eat it. It's not useful. I don't want it. I just want to get rid of them. Now, this is going to create a whole bunch of terrible jobs. There's also one other thing we need to do, and I'll get to that in a moment, because I just remembered that. I was shoving them in the corner. Guys. Yeah. Try not to accidentally exterminate any of my dwarves. That would be bad. We don't want to do that. That would be real bad. We don't want to do that. And we're going to do that once we... finish doing this. Because there's one more major thing we need to do, and that's clean out the caves. Because the caves, as we've seen, are filled to death with, like, all these useless items that we can't get to. Because we had a bunch of people pathing through the caves, and, hopefully this is actually killing them, and they're not just, there's not just a pile of freaking animals on here. Oh, I didn't do one right. Love how they're experiencing mortal fear right now. That's great. Is that all of them? Are we done? No, we're not. No more. Oh god, there's still more. Jesus. This is why we're doing this, because there's way too many of them. Alright. I'm still alive, huh? So anyway, we're gonna... Normally I wouldn't do it, but because I know it's costing me FPS right now, we need to clean out the caves. That's just something we have to do. We also need to deal with this. So, we're going to be making use of a number of things. Mostly the auto dump feature. Auto dump saves your life, mostly, because it does things like this. It sticks everything into one nice little pile. And then we can deal with it. We don't have to worry about it taking up 8 million spaces, because for some reason nothing can be kept, like, on one... I can keep the skulls. We need to use those. I don't think the mangled bones can be used, actually. Keep the skull. So basically we have a whole bunch of crap, and we sort of need to deal with it. So... Normal, we're going to do this much faster when we finally, move all that. Oh god, yes, there's that. There's that. That. Alright, so once they're done doing their thing, should be about now, we're going to clean everything up. So I'm going to stick everything into one giant pile and just let it rot there, essentially. I don't know why I left all this here. But it's all forbidden, which is good. Did I miss some? I think I missed some, yeah. I mean, that's okay. We can miss a little bit. We don't need to clean literally everything, although it will be nice. Okay. So, now we're going to go into our stocks. And we're going to go through all the stuff that says it's forbidden. Although it might not be forbidden anymore, because it's like all this crap that's sitting down there is essentially in... Like, these are not in our stockpiles. These are just sitting in the damn caves. So we need to do something about this. We need to do it now. And it's going to take a while, and I don't really want it to take a while, but we don't really have any choice. So, we're going to set this to dump. don't even know where this shit is. Actually, no, those are amulets. We can keep... Well, we can dump it, and then the dwarves are just going to have a million hauling jobs, so that's okay, I guess. Why are there 2 iron anvils? Melt them already. We're going to dump everything, and that might make some guys have to go pick it up again. That's okay. Body parts. Hi, body parts. We're going to stick you into one place. Even though that's really a bad idea and I shouldn't do it, we're going to do it anyway. So, we start with a little bit. And I guess we'll start with this corner here, and we're just going to auto-dump. And we moved 1,703 items. So there's a lot of items here that we now have to undo. But it means this is all out of the caves. And some of this can be used, and some would say we shouldn't use it because we didn't take it out of the caves. I'm going to say, on the other hand, that we should totally use it because it's here now. So this will also clean up all of the caves and everything else. Probably shouldn't have put the bracelets and everything else in here, though. Now I have to go through it all, which kind of sucks. I was going to do this all off screen, but I figured that if I did that, I wouldn't be able to explain what I was doing well enough. Like, I wouldn't be able to... I felt I wasn't going to be able to explain it well enough to be able to be like, okay, here's what I did to get the caves cleaned up so we don't have massive FPS death from a billion items being in there. I think we can use the teeth? I don't know. I assume we can. But again, we're going to be dealing with thousands and thousands of items, so I can only assume that we can use some of this stuff. Maybe we can't. And obviously, we have to dig out all the backpacks and everything else. Actually, I probably could just go back into it and unforbid all of them, now that I think about it. Now that I think about it, there's a faster way to do this. So I'm really only doing this to get the bones and like the antlers and stuff. Although I'm not sure I can even use that because they're not actually like dug out. So actually, if we go into our stocks, I can probably unforbid them and hit melt now. And no, don't. Unforbid all of that. What was the other stuff I got? Body parts? I guess we can unforbid the body... No, let's forbid the body parts. No more using those. Those are going to live there from now on. So now we can unforbid all the backpacks. And that means that the dwarves should, in theory, immediately go and start picking them up. Yes, okay. So now the dwarves are going to go and pick up all the items that we moved here that have been stolen from the caves that we can now use and need and all that other fun stuff. Actually, I probably should unforbid some of those body parts, because body parts is, like, such a generic thing. It doesn't matter. So we are going to take a little bit of FPS death, because, obviously, they're going to be a little bit busy going through all of this, and the millions and millions and millions of, or I should say thousands of, like... all these body parts are just sitting here, and digging through and getting the stuff that they need. Like all the bracelets and stuff that used to be in there, but now we're not. So, alright, that's fine. So now what we should be able to do, is by doing this right, we need to go into armor, and we're going to set all of this to be dumped. And obviously this might make a bunch of our dwarves really naked, which would be a problem, obviously, but... what'll be good about it is that once we unforbid all of it, and again, I don't know what is and is not in the caves at the moment, but it's the reason behind all the massive death going on down there. We'll move all of this into... oh god, there's so much of it. And then once we actually have it, we can actually use it, and then once we can use it, we can sell it and get rid of it, hopefully. Actually, I might use it. I might use it. Okay. It's all dumped. It's all ready to be dumped. Let's stick it over here. Auto dump. So now we have all these all this clothing just sitting there that has now been taken out of our stockpiles. Obviously that's bad, but now that it's out of our stockpiles, why can't I melt this? God damn it. Maybe somebody, I guess they're wearing it. Somebody has to be wearing it, I suppose, if I can't dump it. Now it's been taken all the way out of our caves, and now the dwarves have to go deal with it. I wish there was a faster way to do this. Should you just forbid or unforbid all? That'd be helpful. Or auto-dump all, everything? That would be real helpful, but no, we have to do it one at a time, as far as I know. Or maybe this is, someone's going to suggest to me to be like, no, that's not what you have to do. You can do this another way, and I don't know if I believe that, but we'll see, I suppose. Oh god, come on. There we go. Okay, so now the dwarves are going to go through all of this, and they'll start picking everything up and dumping it back in wherever it needs to go. While they're doing that, let's check really quickly to see if they've moved. Okay, they're moving really slowly, obviously, because I just gave them 8 million jobs. Are we out of bins, by the way? No, we're not out of bins, so they're just, like, really behind on the hauling jobs, because they're doing 8 billion hauling jobs. And all the clothing has to go in here, but they don't have a place to put it right now, so... yeah. Yeah. Okay. So... anyway, now that they're doing that, it should have more guys ready and willing to, I'm gonna tell them to stop brewing for a moment, just so we can stop making more items that we don't need. Because I want them to haul things, and to haul things they need to actually have, like... yeah, alright, that's good. So now they're actually, like, doing the job. So there's a lot of hauling. There's gonna be a lot of hauling for the near future as we clean the caves out, and, what's this? Scroll. Yeah, as we clean the caves out and clean up our, finished goods stockpile and everything else, because we're gonna have to do all of that so we can actually stop it from sitting there, and the stuff that needs to be melted we will actually be able to melt, and the stuff that's actually, like, you know, worth anything we'll actually be able to use, as opposed to just sitting all down there over dozens and dozens of cave levels that we can't use, killing our FPS. Because there's a forgotten beast in there that's doing nothing except murdering everything. And it's been doing that for about 5 years, and even if we killed it, it's good because it keeps the amount of creatures that are actually down there low. It's bad because it keeps generating more and more items. So every time it dismembers some random Gorlak, now instead of 1 Gorlak pathing, the game has to account for like 5 Gorlak pieces. Which obviously is not good. But we're dealing with it, so... yeah, I'm going to cut this episode here. We're going to keep doing this, probably for the next couple episodes. I'm going to have them set all of the items down there so a few other dwarves can haul. But yeah, other than that, I think we're set up now so that we can move forward easier, is the way to put it. It'll be easier to move forward now that we're doing things to speed things up, although this is slow. So in the short term, it's going to be really slow. In the long term, it should speed things up drastically. But that's going to be it for this episode. Next time, we're just going to continue and hopefully finish this, although it's probably going to take a lot longer. It always does. But we're good. We have a bunch of people engraving masterpieces. That's great. Alright, see y'all later.